crashes did occur, of course, emergency personnel needed to respond and get there quickly. Getting around tonight may be just as tricky. Julie Love is out and about. And what are evening commuters finding out there tonight, Julie?
Bob, I tell you, it had tapered off this afternoon, but the snow's right back again, and that wind chill of 10, yeah, I believe it, Lindy. It's cold out here. Now, what you're going to find is that emergency personnel at the comm center will say there has been a definite increase in calls today. Of course, they're expecting more this evening as this weather starts changing to snow again. Now, while injury accidents, of course, are a top priority, Captain Wilson of the comm center told me a couple of tips that we thought we'd pass on to you.
If it's a non-emergency, if their car is blocking and they can drive it, they can move their car to a safer location, because it is dangerous being out there on the road, standing there waiting for help to come. So if their car can be moved, move it safely, safely to a safe location, and then call us. They can call on a non-emergency number, or they can call 911. But we like to keep the 911 for the emergency calls, and it's understandable for people to think, I've been in an accident, it is an emergency, and that's totally understandable.
Well, once again, we have a report out at 33rd and Pickett of another injury accident tonight, and that will probably be the first of several tonight. So, Julie, out there on the belt, how's it looking for motorists at this hour?
Well, the traffic has started to get a little bit busier. Of course, I think it's because people are getting off work and going out to eat or running their errands. One of the interesting statistics that Captain Wilson told me about was that last year, 82% of their calls came in by cell phones. And that's because people are getting rid of landlines and traveling with their cell phones. And that's something that the police department has really encouraged and reminded people on being safe in this weather, is to make sure that you have your cell phone and that it is charged. That way, if something would happen and you would get stranded, you could get a hold of someone as quickly as possible, and they will get to you quickly as possible. So everyone, be safe out there this evening, and I'm going to get back inside where it's warm again, and I'll see you soon. Bye, Bob.
Come on back where all these... Well, as we just heard from Lindy, this winter storm is a big one, and it has a lot of the state at a standstill. The roads are being cleared, but the snow has not let up. Julie Love is out at Troop H on the Bell Highway to find out about highway travel. There, Julie.
Bob, I am out here, and Sheldon and I are getting snowflakes on our noses. It's just blowing all over. Sheldon Lyon, of course, with Troop H, is here. And what has been happening with your troopers working? Everybody was working today, right?
Yes, everybody is at work today, and with the afternoon, the snowfall rate increased, and we are working multiple accidents, really at full capacity. Travel is very hazardous right now.
Yeah, I actually called you earlier and asked for some stats on traffic accidents, and you said just one to one, huh?
Yeah, we're just going from call to call to call, and we're talking about a lot of troopers out there working today. And, south of St. Joe right now, they're working multiple accidents at the same location. And
tell us about that, because you had mentioned that there's the same location. What's the problem? What's going on?
Well, a trooper will be working one accident, a motorist comes over the hill, most of the time too fast for conditions, tries to slow down, they lose control, and then they end up into the guard cable at the same location. And this happens repeatedly, and we just can't get caught up. There's just too many folks out there traveling on a day when they really should be at home. It's extremely hazardous traveling. We're seeing the deeper snow move in now, and it's just going to complicate things with the wind whipping around. Visibility is very poor right now.
Yeah, I heard Lindy just mention that, and troopers are saying visibility. They're suggesting get to where you need to go, because now what we have to deal with is the darkness, and that's going to increase problems, right?
It will complicate things as snowplows try to keep up with the rate of snowfall, and visibility's poor. You throw in nighttime, it just makes it for a recipe for disaster. If you don't absolutely have to be out there, stay at home.
Okay, all right, good advice for everyone. I think everyone around here is helping a little bit. It's starting to slow down a bit. We're going to send it back to you, Bob, but until then, everyone just get to where you need to go and stay hunkered down. This thing will too pass, we promise.
All right, thanks, Julie. And
on Fox 26, KNPN.
Fire units are on the scene of a house fire on the south side of St. Joseph, very near Lake Contrary. And tonight, that's where we find Julie Love, who's on location with the latest. Julie?
I am down here on the other side of Lake Contrary, and we just moments ago, I'm here with Mike Wacker from the fire department. We just got the call. They actually got down here, just got the fire under control. You can see it's the house right behind me that is still smoldering. What happened when you got here?
The first two companies found fire in the middle room, which extended out into the two adjoining rooms. They did make a quick knockdown on it. It got a little bit into the attic. They extinguished that, and we're just venting it out and checking for hot spots right now.
And of course, the family's not going to be able to get back in it. Is that correct?
No, they will not be able to stay here tonight. We'll
They
probably
are
get off.
somewhere safe.
They're at a neighbor's house right now.
Okay. Now, with this weather, and as you can see, Bob, it is still coming down, and the wind's kind of picking up. How does this affect you guys working?
Not too much. Makes things a little bit colder, of course. We got to take a little bit better care of our hoses, make sure they don't freeze on us, leave the nozzles open just a little bit, pick them up quickly.
Now, you had how many trucks respond?
3 pumpers, a ladder truck, and 2 rescue companies along with the battalion chief.
So with that many, you can get stuff done pretty quick.
Yes, that's the point of it.
That's the point. Okay, definitely that's the point. So you're going to be here for a while. Fire inspector on their way?
Fire inspector is on the way. I think we're about done here. We can probably start picking up the last hose here shortly and start clearing companies.
All right, well, I'll let you get back to that. I appreciate your time. Thank you, sir. And we're going to finish up. We're going to try to see from the fire inspector what he can determine. What we found out, Bob, is that it doesn't matter really what's happening with the weather. They usually take care of the fires. Get the fire out. That's the goal. But they are seeing some more, so just be careful, especially with your heaters, your furnaces, your electric cords, as you're trying to stay warm this evening. The fire department, of course, urges you to be safe with all of those things and watch that nothing is around them that could possibly take fire and cause a tragedy like this one this evening down at Lake Contrary. Back to you, Bob, in the studio.
A large stretch of the Belt Highway and also some surrounding streets near the Belt and Farron are shut down tonight following an accident near the intersection of Belt and Farron. Julie Love is live on the scene of the accident tonight with the latest. Julie?
Bob, I'm here with Sergeant Steve Smith of the police department. It actually turned into a bigger issue than what it started out. Exactly what happened initially?
Initially, we had an accident where a semi-truck was making a turn to go into High V off of Belton Farron and struck a metal pole, causing the pole to fall and rest on a power line.
Okay, and I don't know if you can see it behind us, but just straight over there, the KCP&L just arrived. How long has it been waiting for them?
An hour and 25 minutes minimum.
Is that a little unusual?
Not anymore.
Okay.
Used to be. Used to be we could get responses in about 15 to 20 minutes.
So that's been a challenge, and we've had to shut down. What parts do people need to be avoiding right now?
Belt Highway from about Messina Street, Belt and Frederick, Farron and Woodbine, and Farron and 36.
Okay, so basically over in the whole east from 36th Street all the way over, that would be Hilliard and over. Now that this truck has gotten here, what's going to happen?
KCP&L has arrived, and they said that the pole is not theirs, but they are going to lift the pole off the electrical line, so we no longer have a danger of that pole pushing down that electrical line, which was our entire concern the entire time. It wasn't who it belonged to, it was the fact that it was on an electrical line and causing a hazard to the motoring public, which in turn caused us to take drastic action, shutting down this entire area on a Friday night.
Yeah, you've got a lot of officers out here on a Friday night dealing with this, right? Okay. Well, we're going to let you get back to it, and we're going to tell everybody again to stay away from this area. About how long can they expect from now?
Probably about another 30 to 40 minutes.
Okay, for the rest of our newscast, at least, Bob, it's going to be, you're welcome, thank you, and it's going to be closed off, so everybody needs to avoid this area. So a semi-turned, hit a pole, got it on some power lines, which has caused some difficulty. Unconfirmed sources are saying there's been a change in policy at KCP&L, and that was the cause for the delay. It used to be a pretty quick response, so we're going to look more into that, Bob, probably over the weekend and next week, and find out exactly what's happening with that. But this is Julie Love reporting live at Belton Farron. Back to you.
All right.
link to our website, and we publicized and asked some of our patrons if they would access the website and the Google form that we had set up, and asked them to provide us some history of St. Joseph and make some recommendations for what they believe the school should be named. Those 400 hits translated into roughly about 170 different unique names for the schools.
Now, not only will the 2 schools be chosen at tonight's meeting, but bids for the widening of the street in front of the Carden Park School will be heard, as well as bids for the $1 million Fieldhouse addition and renovations at Lafayette High School. Another noteworthy event tonight will be the official announcement of Behringer's sponsorship of the Advanced Science Research Center at Hilliard's that will be opening up. There is a matching grant and sponsorship on that. Now, we do have the names that you heard that they narrowed it down to 5 for each of the locations. I'll tell you really quickly. At Carden Park up at 16th and Duncan, Lewis and Clark, Pony Express, River Bluff, Carden Park, or Riverview are the choices they'll be voting on tonight. Or also and then at the Northeast School, that's at Bishop and Cook Roads, you'll have Oak Grove, Kelsey Bashirs, Grace Day, Melody Smith, and Northeast Elementary are the options for that school. So we will stay tuned. The meeting starts at 6. Of course, it's open to the public, and we'll be here getting the information out to you tonight at 9. But other than that, you can come down if you want. Anyone is welcome to come at 6. Back to you, Bob.
All right, are we ready to go with that, Control? All right, I believe now we have Julie Scott. She is on the scene again on the east side of St. Joseph at that shooting. And let's go to Julie now and see what the latest details are. Julie?
Bob, we are here in the 1500 block of South 41st Street, where a couple of hours ago there was quite a disturbance across the street from Mrs. Meyer's house, and she was gracious enough to share some of what she saw with us tonight. What did you see?
I saw 2 ladies standing down by the street and a man up by the open garage, and they were talking back and forth, and then one of the ladies was his girlfriend. She walked up there and talked to him, and then she came back down to the street, and he followed her and talked down by the street again. And then a lady with a dog came by and 2 kids on a bicycle. And one of the ladies came up to them and told them to turn around, that he had a gun. Now, I saw him having his hand up on his forehead.
Okay.
I don't know whether he had a gun or a cell phone.
Okay, so was there yelling? Was it just talking?
No, they were just talking. Now,
when the police finally arrived, it was about an hour, you said, of this
Yeah.
activity? So
They came from the back of the house. You didn't see any police on the street. On
Okay.
41st Street. You didn't
Okay.
see anybody in the front at the 41st Street.
Were they announcing to him or anything that they were the police, or what happened with the shooting?
No.
Tell us about the shooting then.
The shooting, well, the lady, the girlfriend, she was walking toward the garage, and he was running toward the middle of the yard, and that's when the police shot him. Now, they say that he had a gun on the ground, and that's what he wanted to pick up. And that's when the police shot him, about 6 times.
Okay, 6 times. Okay, all right. Well, Bob, so what we're doing is we're waiting for the police to give us an official word and a statement exactly what happened here. But as more details develop, make sure you check newspressnow.com, Jessica Shoemaker's articles, and of course we'll stay around here and see what happens. Thanks. Back to you, Bob.
All right, thank you, Julie. And we'll also understand Joseph and rural Buchanan fire crews fought to contain a large brush fire this afternoon near 36 Highway and Pickett Road. Good evening, I'm Bob Heater. And that is where we find our Julie Love. She's on location live with the latest tonight. Julie?
Bob, yeah, just to give everyone at home an idea of where I'm located, if you're on the east side of the belt, just south of the walking path, there's a cornfield behind Pickett School, and the brush fire has consumed all of this cornfield. It crossed over the walking path and started on the outside of 36 Highway, where they were able to get it under control. You can see here charred corn. That's what this whole field looks like. But the crews just really went right to work, got it under control. Tonight at 9 we'll show you some of that footage of how quickly they work and the special tools that they have to put this kind of fire out. But they've called in the Red Cross for water for the crews that are working, the rural county Firefighters have come out and they've got the brush trucks. In fact, one just passed by us, and they are cooling down spots along this fence line because just behind the camera is the walking path, and there are people walking, of course, wondering what was going on. So check out the tonight at 9, and we'll have some more footage of what this massive expansion of a fire did. Now, we're not quite for sure how it started. Haven't gotten to that point yet. The crews that were out there when I was in the field earlier were saying you can see kind of in the center there's still smoldering a brush pile. Don't know if that might be a cause of it, but Lindy, it is very windy out here, and I could see how quickly this can happen if you're not careful. Can you tell us what other kind of weather we're going to be